Alright, hello everybody, my name is King Khan, and as you might know, I am a Leatherface main in Dead by Daylight, which means I spend about 90% of my killer games playing just Leatherface. And as you all might know, there is a new update coming to Leatherface. He's having a slight rework, which is going to be very interesting. It's coming later on in July. I know I'm a bit late with this video, but I've been working a lot, so I didn't really have a lot of time to go through it. But I was thinking I'm gonna go through his changes here and sort of give you guys my opinion on it. Okay, so first of all, the Cannibal's Chainsaw now activates like the Hillbillies. Rather than need to be fully charged and released, the small change prevents instances where you release the button a sliver too early and cancel your chainsaw accidentally. You won't want to hold it for too long though, or else that face will go into tantrum. Basically what this means is that when you're playing Hillbilly, you can just you can keep the bar going up and down. You couldn't do that on Leatherface before. Instead, the second that you let go, you would just stop the chainsaw. And then it had a little bit of a cooldown, which means that you couldn't use it. And what they mean by the releasing the button a sliver too early and cancel your chainsaw accidentally, it is, if you've ever played a lot of Leatherface, then you're aware of this. It's a very, very annoying thing. Because what will happen is you'll get to like 99%, and because of the fact is that while you're charging, the way that you cancel the chainsaw is to press the right click button. Well, not to press it, to let go. But that's also the same button you use to activate it when it's fully charged. So you'll be thinking that, hey, I'm done charging, 99%, let's go. But then no, boom, you miss a kill because you let go instead. But this is going to be a very nice quality of life feature. This is one of the things that I'm looking forward to the most, because it's like one of the things that happens the most to me that just really makes me want to fucking die. Okay, and then let's see, we got the charges. Bubba's chainsaw now has 3 charges by default. When starting your chainsaw sweep, one of these charges will be consumed. Pressing the power button again while the sweep is active will refresh it and consume another charge, allowing you to continue using your chainsaw for another 2 seconds. You'll want to assess the situation carefully though. Each charge you use will also extend the tantrum and missed attack cooldown. Using more charges can backfire if you're not able to follow through. This is also a very interesting change, because they're making it so that instead of having just a cooldown when you miss your chainsaw, or if you use it, you have these charges, and you can use these charges to essentially have either a very short sort of a chainsaw thing, where you right up in someone's asshole and you just want to chainsaw them a little bit, but you don't really want to keep going, because if you know, well, playing Bubba, if you chainsaw someone instantly, which is usually what you want to do, you want to run up to them as close as possible, and then you start the chainsaw to get a guaranteed down. You'll also be spending a lot of time just chainsawing nothing. Sometimes you can channel that into like going off to get someone on the side, but usually you'll just accomplish nothing with it, and you'll just be wasting time. Now, by being able to just use one charge and get a shorter chainsaw, and then just like you'll just save a little bit of time. But you'll also have the choice by using more charges to go on longer and longer, which is really nice. And just like, sure, it comes at a price where if you do not get anything with it, you get a longer tantrum and missed. I think this is a very good way to balance it, because it means that you cannot just keep extending it with no drawback to it at all. But it also doesn't seem like a drawback that's just like, oh no, I refuse to do it, It just seems like, okay, yeah, fuck it, I fucked up, I gotta take this now, I gotta hold this, and then you're good. Then you keep going again, and then charges refill automatically at a rate of 1 every few seconds. Now this seems, I'm not sure what they mean by a few seconds. I'm assuming it's like 3 or 4 seconds, I would assume, per charge, or somewhere around there, which I think seems okay. I'll still have to see what it's like in gameplay, and like, see how it is in practice. But I guess the charges, they seem pretty good to me so far, at least. And well, we'll just have to see how it is in practice, right? There's only so much you can tell from a piece of text. Then you got this. Additionally, Leatherface's maximum movement speed while using his power has been increased from 5.06 meters per second to 5.29 meters per second. This, in conjunction with the other changes mentioned, will make Cannibal feel much better to play and it's much more threatening to play. Now, this might not sound like too much, but you need to understand that Leatherface's movement speed is his biggest drawback. Because he's always been like the reason why you have to basically run right up to their asshole to be able to chainsaw him reliably is because of the fact that when he starts revving his chainsaw, he loses a lot of movement speed. Like he becomes very slow. And then then when you start swinging, his movement speed goes up as it goes along, and then reaches its climax at the end of the at the climax, basically. It keeps going faster. Now, his maximum movement speed being increased will realistically mean that either one is just the base movement speed of it overall is increased, or it'll increase faster to reach that point, which is very good because it'll really help you catch people. And I think it'll play very well with the fact that you'll be able to use free charges, which, from what I can tell, will let you have a way longer charge than you could before. But yeah, let's look at the video here. Okay, yeah, see, use all free charges there, and then boom, let's look at that. Okay, so this is one. Okay, let's see. That's one charge, two charges, and free charges. That's a pretty good distance, and it went pretty fast too. See here, he can do like hillbilly. He can charge it up and down, up and down. But you also have a nice little bar that shows you like, okay, yeah, if you keep doing this, you're gonna tantrum. And like as you can see, you can move a pretty good distance with it. Like it's not hillbilly levels of movement, but it's pretty fucking good. And I do like the changes to the tantrum, being that you can get punished if you try to fuck around with it too much. But I think just this change in itself, it's also going to be very helpful for pallets. Because you're going to be able to, charge it to do pallets. Because, like, it's really annoying to use it for pallets. Like, the biggest time that you'd use it for pallets at the moment, in my opinion, is when you're rolling with, like, you have Nemesis, right? So you make it so that they either have to drop the pallet or they die to your chainsaw. Okay, but let's take a look at some of the new add-ons. These are not all of them, but these are some of them, and well, some of it, they're pretty interesting in my opinion. At least two of them are. This one isn't that interesting. I mean, it is what it is. But let's see. So you got shop lubricant, an oil specifically formulated for chainsaws. A special additive prevents oil throw off. Downing a survivor with the chainsaw while no other survivors are in your tear radius. That's a misspelling right there. Will hide the survivor's aura for 20 seconds. Now this basically means that using this add-on, it gives you a knockdown perk for 20 seconds, assuming there's no survivors in your tear radius while you slap them down. I don't think I'm going to use this too much. I really don't think. I could definitely see it being used, like in sort of a, well, honestly, actually, I don't really know how you would use this that you couldn't just do more guaranteed in a regular slug build. But I could definitely see it used, like, I mean, like, say you down someone with it, and then you know, for example, where some other people are, so you run off to them. So, because basically it makes it way harder for them to find him for 20 seconds. Because 20 seconds, that's actually a pretty good amount of time. Like, I mean, I think we've all been there as killers where they do not get even close to being 20 seconds on the hook. So, like, to just leave them on the ground for a guaranteed, almost guaranteed 20 seconds it's pretty decent. You could use this. I probably won't be using it too much, but I at least like the fact that it is something different. it is a unique add-on. The fact that it's going to give you some flavor to it. I like that. Then you got the typical regular, just the regular add-on that just makes your power better. Let's see, it increases the number of charges, increases the charge time, and slightly decreases the chainsaw sweep's maximum speed. I think this is a pretty good add-on actually, because I think that at the end you're going to get a much probably a way bigger distance because of the extra charges. Like I don't know how many charges this one is going to be. If it's like 1, 2, 3, I don't know. But then like it comes at the drawback of it takes a bit longer for you to charge up the chainsaw. At least that's what I think that is. And then the speed of it is slower. But like it's like you trade speed for distance basically, and I think that's going to be interesting. I will definitely be playing with this for a bit, seeing what I like. Now this one seems like it's going to be a mean fucking add-on right here. Hitting a survivor with the chainsaw replenishes its charges. First of all, this has no drawback. No drawback at all. You lose nothing by using this. This is an amazing fucking add-on. Because if it's like I'm imagining it, you're not gonna have an actual cooldown with it. So you down someone and then you can just fucking keep going, So like say you combine these two, right? So let's say this gives you, it's a purple on it. Let's say it gives you 2 charges. Let's just say it gives you 2 charges. We don't know. So let's just assume 2 charges. It is. Boom. You got this. Replenish it. Use 5 charges. You get you already saw how long you get with 3 charges. Now imagine 1.5 times that, Like halfway longer, right? And then you hit someone with a chainsaw, and then you keep going. You keep going. Like at that point, it starts to become pretty similar, and especially if you start rolling with perks like, I think it's Infectious Fright that makes someone scream out when their teammates get down. You can just beeline right for them, just fucking beeline right for them, and then you can just sort of fucking snowball that way. And I think that's going to be a very fun way to try it out, especially if you incorporate like Infectious Fright. You got free stacks on what's it called? On play with your food to really maximize that movement speed, and you can probably get a real fun time cooking. Now let's take a look at his perks. By the way, I'm not going to go over Hillbilly because, quite frankly, I don't play Hillbilly. I barely ever play him. I don't really think he's fun to play. I just play Leatherface. I'm a Leatherface kind of boy. But let's go through his perks now. Finally, we've reviewed some of Leatherface's perks to make them more appealing. Franklin's Demise. Your vicious attacks make the survivor drop their item impact. The lost item will be consumed by the entity after 190 seconds if it is not picked up before the timer runs out. Reveal the aura of items on the ground within 32 meters in a wide aura. The aura of items fade to red until they are consumed by the entity. Okay, so basically what this changes is it takes Franklin's Demise from being, I believe it loses 50% charge when you slap them down, to now being that if they don't pick it up, it's gone. I don't think this is gonna matter, to be honest. Like, I think that most of us, when we use Franklin's Demise, it is just straight up because there's like a fuckload of flashlights or there's a key, and we just want to get that out of there. Like, I mean, especially for an item like the flashlight, well, not flashlight, the key, I mean. You typically, like, I mean, say you're playing Backwater Swamp, some survivor with the key is running just in general, and they drop the key, they're not going to find that shit. They're probably not going to find that shit again. So you're probably good. And then but yeah, so I think this is better because it just straight up removes it, that's nice. But yeah, I don't think it really changes too much for what I'm gonna use it for. Pretty much the same thing. Let's see, knockout. Survivors put into the dying state by your basic attacks are not revealed to other survivors when they're standing outside of a 32, 24, 16 meter range. Survivors put into the dying state by your basic attacks crawl 50% slower for 15 seconds, and they're affected by the blindness. This is actually a pretty decent change, at least I think it's a change, because crawling slower and not being able to tell where your teammates are, it's actually pretty decent, because it means that they can't really, because when you got someone knocked out, right? They like it's already hard enough for the other survivors to find them, but if that survivor cannot run towards his teammates himself for 15 seconds, like it adds a decent amount to it. But yeah, like I said, so I'm actually very excited about this update. I believe that it's being added to the PTB either today or in the coming days, and I will definitely be interested in trying it out, and I will be giving you guys my more in-depth opinions about it once that is live. But for now, I can say that it seems like a very good change. It seems like at least some of his issues are being worked through, and it's completely fair to not assume that they're gonna fix absolutely everything, because it would be quite ridiculous. But them just being able to go in here, and they're changing them up, and they're making him being able to charge the chainsaw. They're making him being able to decide how long he wants the chainsaw to be, at least on a rough estimate, and they're making it faster, and they're giving us the biggest rework that he's needed, his add-ons, because most of his add-ons are fucking garbage right now. There's basically two different sets of add-ons that you want to run right now. It's either you want to run speed add-ons, or you want to run charge speed add-ons. That's the two choices you have pretty much. But yeah, these are my opinions on the Leatherface rework, and hopefully it will all hold up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. You can catch me live at www.twitch.tv/KingConX. See you next time.